Hey YouTube, um, welcome to another JavaScript tutorial. It's JavaScript number 7. Alright, for this one, we're trying to simulate a progress bar. Like when you're uploading something, downloading something, you want to see how far basically data packets are going. I don't know if that's the right terminology to use, but this is just using JavaScript. Okay, so let's reload. If we reload, we see that it keeps going and going and going, and then it tells you how many percentage it's completed. Yeah, this is just the front end. If you want it to be fancy, which I am planning on doing, actually having PHP, as you're uploading something, PHP sends the data packets or the bytes that it's downloaded, and then using that you can do you can use a few mathematics tricks to sort of calculate how much time the file takes to upload and sort of sync them together. Gives you the idea that or how much something has been done. Okay, so if we reload again, you see it keeps going, it keeps being updated. Nice and simple, no images, no use of images. This was just CSS colors, and then once it gets to 100 it stops. Nice, huh? Again, I like something simple, straight to the point. Alright, let's see the code. Here's the HTML. Straight, sweet, straight to the point. Also, if you notice, like I've been doing all my tutorials, I always put my JavaScript file at the end right before the body tag. Why? That way it doesn't block the HTML from being downloaded. So if you had like 10 million lines of HTML code and you put JavaScript at the head, and if your JavaScript code is really big, you're not going to see the HTML until the JavaScript file is downloaded. So that means you'll have a blank screen, and that's really bad for user interface. Okay, that's why I always put this at the end, so that way it downloads all the HTML and then fires the JavaScript, whatever needs to be fired. Okay, and plus doing it that way you reduce errors, so you don't call something that's not been created yet. Alright, enough of that. Alright, so you've seen the HTML. Here's the CSS. It's not that much different from the last time. This is CSS3 properties for each browser. Moz, that's for Mozilla-based browsers, preferably Firefox. And then this is for WebKit-based browsers. This is just to give that gradient, colors, if you really want to be a little bit fancy. This is for WebKit based, such as Safari and Google Chrome, and this one is Microsoft version. Obviously Microsoft has to be different, but that's okay. And if none of these three, in other words, if they're using an old browser that doesn't support these, then it just falls back to dark green. Okay, so that's the CSS. That's about that much difference than the last. Everything else is the same. Let's look at the JavaScript code. The JavaScript code is basically just one function. How simple is that? Just one function. Okay, let's go through the function real quick. So this function called progress bar needs 4 parameters. We need the ID of the container, the ID of progress, the text that needs to be shown, and the speed. So this is where if you had a if you had a server software, the speed would determine how fast something is being uploaded, which is the next thing I'm trying to do. Okay, probably I should, I'll just add it to my list of stuff to do for JavaScript. Alright, so we assign all these parameters to our local variables A, B, C, and D. Nice and simple. So we said that the width of the container is a.scroll width. Scroll width is an object. Since a is an object, this is a method within the object called scroll width, which grabs the width of the div, width of this other one too. Now, this is how we want it to increment. So this increments dynamically based on however big you want to make it. So remember that our container, which I believe is, no, it's this one, this div one here. I know I should have used better words, but that's okay. So since our width is 400, so our increments will be 400 divided by 100, which means it increments 4 pixels, or 4 pixels. So this is just to keep that ratio of percentage. That's the whole point for this line over here. So if it was 1,000, then it'll be 10 pixel, per second. All right. So this is where we tell it to keep increasing. Okay. All right. So we initialize a timer, because obviously, as this, for each increment, okay, it erases and draws. So it's like it's like a loop. It just keeps going, but it gives that effect, that perception that it's just increasing. Okay, that's all JavaScript is, just a bunch of tricks. If you just know how to use them, that's all it is. That's why Yahoo, Google, all those companies, that's all they do. They just make it they just make it fancy, because they think, oh, you can't figure it out. Let me tell you guys, JavaScript is simple. If you just use tricks, that's all it is. In fact, that's all programming is, just using tricks. Okay? All right, sorry. Let's go back to it. So we start the width by using this JavaScript function called setInterval. SetInterval tells it to just, for every interval, just keep firing. It's just like a loop. So as we fire, we increase using the progress that we calculated over here. Okay, then it's it puts in the percentage of what we are right now, so the status of where we are right now. And then here it just tells it to stop the timer. If the progress width equals the width of the timer, in other words, the green part has reached the gray part, then it just stops. Okay, by using this function called clear interval. And then you just do this. This is again, I don't want to type the document that get element by ID. So here we initialize the function by passing in the div1, div2, and div3, and tell it how fast to upload or to increase. So here, this is by milliseconds, 100 milliseconds. So if we wanted it to go per second, let's just make it 1,000. So let's increase this by 1,000, save it, and then reload it. So you see how slow it's going. So using the server software, you can manipulate that. Okay, so if we wanted it really fast, let's do this. Let's say 10 milliseconds. Now that would be really fast. So let's see, if we reload it, boom, look at that, boom, look at that. Nice, huh? Okay, hope you guys enjoyed it. The files for these are all within a zip file, and they should be in the description. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.